Jarrett, good morning. How are you?
Bear down.
It is. It really is extraordinary to be looking at an 8-3 team and know that as much as everyone's kind of where are you going to find another couple wins? How are you going to do it? It just feels like they've already sort of overcome this attrition of schedule game against against the Steelers, and now they've got a little breathing room, even going into Philadelphia and playing a tough game on short notice.
I mean, they're playing with house money, man.
Yeah.
They're playing some like it's. I mean, it's entertaining football for Bears fans. And the one thing, Mully Haugh, that I enjoy is, man, they're playing meaningful football. When we're coming up to Thanksgiving, so I'm going to say I'm super grateful to be sitting around the table with my family and friends and actually talking about the Bears playing some meaningful football in a big game on Friday against an Eagles team that, not a lot of people are giving them any chance, but the guys inside of that locker room at Hallis Hall, I know that they all believe in themselves, them as a unit, and just go out there and figure out, can you find a way to be able to get a win in Philly. If they do that, I've been telling people, I think the city's going to lose their mind if they win on Friday.
That belief had to be challenged somewhat, Jarrett, going into the Steelers game, only because of how many backups were pressed into action against the Steelers, because he had as many as 6 starting in playing prominent roles on the defense. What was your favorite part about that? Who do you think stepped forward the most, and how surprised were you at the defensive success?
Very surprised for the linebackers, DJ and AO, where they came in combined together, close to 30 tackles. I mean, that wasn't expected. But you look at what Dennis Allen has done, and I think the way that they have kind of shown that they have depth at these positions, and it paid off in that win against the Steelers. I think Ozzie Trapillo, to me, is as a running back and an offensive guy, for him to be able to get a start, a rookie, and come in and play well, and he graded out very well in the run game, and then also as well in pass blocking as well. So that goes to show. And I think the reason why I would probably say Ozzie is because of all the conversations that everybody was having as Bears fans and us in the media about the left tackle position going into the season. And to now know, even with Theo Benedict going out, that you had Ozzie came in and had a solid game. It shows you, man, the depth is there, and sometimes it's going to be tested because it's this time of the season. Injuries are going to happen, and you have to be able to have people behind your guys to be able to fill in for a game or two, or maybe even longer than that. And so for me, it was probably Ozzie Trapillo.
That what's extraordinary about that, and we don't talk about it, he is their third starting left tackle. He's the third one they've gone to this year because Braxton Jones is still on IR, and obviously we know that Theo missed the game. But we were kind of wondering where the competition would end up. I don't think anybody thought that they were as interchangeable as they've been.
No, not at all. But I mean, this is what happens when your O-line starts to kind of form, and
right.
and you think it too. Even before that, just about how it's been a consistent unit. There hasn't been a lot of turnaround where musical chairs with injuries and this and that, where you've been pretty stable at the position. And what's been so great is that I feel like we used to always, over the past years, we've been always talking about the offensive line every single week. And then it feels good not to be talking about the offensive line, right? Where they are doing what they're supposed to do and taking care of business. And even with the strip sack in the end zone with TJ Watt, right? Other than that, this offensive line really quieted the crowd and did what they needed to do. And the interior, to me, is what's been so phenomenal. But when you have veterans on your interior, I think it really helps out a lot about, the guys on the outside and doing what they need to do as well. And so just as a collective unit, they've been fun to watch, but also when you're not saying their name a lot and talking about them, that's a good thing as well.
What's going on with Saquon Barkley based on your perspective of the Eagles? Because you wonder, he's not having the kind of year that he had previously. And the Bears, that's their biggest challenge. I think, Jarrett, going into this game, there are a lot of ways you could go, but stopping the run with Saquon Barkley's got to be at the top of Dennis Allen's list.
Yeah, David, I've been watching games and it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, that's their bread and butter. That's what got them to, a Super Bowl the year before. And I don't get why they have not really committed to the run. There just seems to be some type of, there's just not balance on the offensive side of the ball. And so I don't know. I don't think he's hurt, but he's not running like the same running back that we're all accustomed to seeing. So, to me, that's a good thing for this Bears team going into Friday. He's not busting out those yards. You hope that he doesn't find his groove, against this Bears defense. But I mean, yeah, I don't know what it is because he is he's that dynamic running back that we all look to. It's him and Jahmyr Gibbs from the Lions, like these guys that when they touch the ball, they can take it the distance anytime. And so it's probably frustrating for them. Think good for the Bears going into Friday if they can find a way to bottle him up. And I think that's what teams are really doing. They're finding ways to say, listen, you're not going to beat us with the run game. And I think another thing that's changed, David, is we're not seeing Jalen Hurts run the football and design run.
Right.
And I think that was a big thing last year where you started to see it tail off, but that's a big part of the run success to me is having him implemented into the run game as well. So you kind of have that two-headed monster in the backfield where it's been solely put on Saquon Barkley, which teams are like, well, we're going to figure this thing out. Like, we're either going to bring pressure, we're going to bring 8 or 9 men in the box, and we're going to say Jalen Hurts is going to beat us with his arm. And so I think that they haven't found that rhythm yet, and I think that's a good thing for this Bears defense.
This segment with Jarrett Payton is sponsored by the all-new Toyota on Edens in Northbrook. Visit toyotaonedens.com. Jarrett, we talk about the Bears running game. We've talked about the idea of a player who was once in Philadelphia going back there and in Swift. And I wonder if the fact that he wasn't used as much in that game could keep him off the injured list. We know he's been battling injury. Maybe you get more out of him than people are anticipating. Maybe he's been, sharing playing time with Monungai, and maybe now he can go off a little.
I'm hoping so. I just hope that they can truly just find the run game a little bit more, especially early in the game. I know they tried against the Steelers and things weren't working like they had hoped, but at some point you have to be able to run the ball consistently. And I think I was saying that to Spiegel and Lawrence on last Thursday, that's what I thought was going to be kind of the bread and butter at this part of the season when it starts getting cold outside and you got to run the football a little bit more, man. Like this is the time to do it. But yes, I think having one of those guys has to get off. For Swift, I think I've just been watching just a little bit. It's kind of back to, they need to get him back to the outside a little bit more in space where things just seem to be a little bit north and south for him. But the where he is so deadly is in space, outside zone, just a little bit more. Some pitches, getting him an opportunity, get that, I call it the bing bing with the, get into this, right when he goes to plant, next thing you know, with them shoulders, he always gives you a little shimmy shake. I need to see that a little bit more. And get him in space a little bit where, and more involved in the passing game as well. He's successful when they're balanced with him in the run game and also getting him some touches on swings and in the flat or check downs, whatever it is. And that's where he can be deadly in that second level.
Hypothetically, Jalen Johnson Kyler Gordon and Tyreek Stevenson could all be healthy enough to play on Friday. You've got a couple.
What do you do, Dave? What do you do?
Well, that's what I'm asking you. You're the guest. I'm asking you for help. What do you do in that secondary? Because, Jarrett, you've got a lot of guys who are making plays.
Good thing. It's a good problem to have. I feel like if Kyler and Jalen, and I mean Jalen definitely, and then with Kyler, it's him back as well. CJ has to play. Nahshon Wright
you can't take Nahshon Wright out of the lineup.
No, you can't take
I don't think you can do that.
No, you can't. And so
it's too tall.
It might be Tyreek. Tyreek might be the odd guy out.
Might be.
I mean,
wow.
I think it has to be. You can't take Wright out, and he's doing his thing.
And you use Tyreek Stevenson to rotate in with Jalen Johnson until he gets conditioned into game shape.
Yes. I mean that's what. But man, Jalen. Just seeing some of the videos, man. I know he's not playing in games, but the work that he's been putting in to get back onto the field, I give that man a lot of credit, man. He is everything that you hope for in a player, and it's those type of guys, the way that they work, even when they're not playing. I think the guys like Grady Jarrett, the guys like Joe Tooney, these guys are the standard, and they are what you want on inside of your locker room, and it really goes to show the culture that they're creating inside that locker room, and what Ben Johnson and his staff are expecting out of these guys, where it's like, figure it out. Hence the reason why you saw the backups come in and play well, because it seems like it's unselfish, where it's not just them playing well, it's the linebackers, TJ Edwards, those guys being like coaching them up as well, wanting them to have success. To me, being unselfish and this being an unselfish football team, that goes a long way. Hence, I go back to a time when I got my first start against Florida State. When who was it? I think it was who ended up getting hurt. It was I can't even remember who ended up getting hurt. But anyway, regardless of that, it's Frank Gore. Frank Gore ended up going down against West Virginia, and I got that start the next week. And then Frank loved me as a brother, but he was also ticked off because he's like, that should be me out there. And I balled the next week, and he was like, yo, that should be me. That was the competition that we had at Miami. It was like, yo, dog eat dog world. We all love each other, but we all expected that we wanted to be that guy. It doesn't seem like that in this locker room with the Bears. They want to help each other because they want to win as a team. And to me, that's going to go a long way as they go down the stretch end of the season.
Jarrett, I know it's only Tuesday, but they play on Friday, and we got Thanksgiving, for God's sake. Who do you like in the game? And do you have to wait until you see the injured list?
I didn't last week. I was saying I felt like the Bears are going to beat the Steelers. I'm going to go with my model, man. I'm not. The Bears keep winning, and so until they prove me wrong, as much as I respect that Eagles defense and how good they are, the running game of the Eagles, it hasn't been there. I don't see it coming back, and I see that Dennis Allen tries to make them one-dimensional, and so if one of the receivers is on, then the other one's kind of like non-existent. So I just have this feeling the Bears have nothing to lose. I believe that they win on Friday.
Great stuff, Jarrett. Great catching up with you.
Happy Thanksgiving, Jarrett. Thank you.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving,
guys.